Okay, hello and welcome to your online Python course. I am Heath Edner. I'm a teacher over here at Desert Hills High School. I teach computer programming and other computer subjects, and I've been lucky enough to teach our first ever online version of Intro to Python. All you really need for this class is access to Canvas and a decent internet connection. Doing this on a tablet and a small laptop might be a little difficult, so if you have access to a full computer, that would be the best. But everything is online. It's all web-based. We are lucky enough to have curriculum from a website called CodeHS that we're going to use extensively to do all your Python projects. We're going to use CodeHS for almost every assignment, but you're never going to actually access CodeHS directly through their site. We're going to be using the Canvas course that you're on right now, and the links that I give you will go into CodeHS. You'll do assignments in there, and then if everything works well, the grade will come back into Canvas, and then you'll see it on your actual grades. I'm going to switch to the welcome page that you are probably also looking at here. And I'm just going to go through this. This is just the basic information that we have for this course. I just want to start here with going through some examples of what you should or shouldn't be doing on an online course. Obviously, you're not here in class, so it's a little bit different. If you've had online classes in the past, then you kind of get that. But I just want to make sure that we go through some stuff that you want to avoid doing while you're going through this course. And these are really to just try and help you out. With being an online course, you get into habits very quickly. There isn't somebody or like myself or your classmates that are there to kind of get a feel for how a class should work. And so especially when you're doing a programming class, you're gonna feel more inclined to try and go out into Google and try and find resources and try and find solutions to stuff when it's really just not going to help you out very well. If you're finding stuff or you're sharing information between each other, and then you're not really learning it, when you get into the harder stuff and stuff that you're not going to be able to easily find, you're going to be hit with this wall of information that you're not prepared for. So all of this is to just try and help you get into some good habits on how to tackle things that are going to be complicated, things that are going to be outside of your comfort zone, instead of just going to Google and trying to find the answers and not really going through the process, right? So examples like, if you don't know how something's working or you're stuck on something, asking friends, you possibly have other people that that are taking this course or have taken the Python course. Nothing wrong necessarily with trying to ask for help, real help, but we want to avoid just getting raw source code and raw solutions to assignments and just copying and pasting them, because you're not learning anything, right? Even if you're looking through something to try and understand it, that's way better than just doing copy and paste and turning it in, and then you have no idea what's going on. You can only get so far when you do that kind of stuff. You're gonna need to start, really knowing what's going on in that programming. Otherwise, you're just gonna get hit again. You're gonna get hit with something in the end, and it's just gonna be a nightmare for you. If you do run into problems, please contact me as much as you need to. There are a ton of what I'm setting to the side of as practice assignments. We have examples, we have videos, we have demos that I'll go through myself if we don't have a video on CodeHS. All this practice stuff to get you to know the concepts that we're teaching, and then you'll have a graded assignment. So not everything on CodeHS is going to be graded, and I'm skipping forward a little bit here, but there's a bunch of practice assignments and examples that's there to help you, right? Every week we're going to have a big list of stuff, videos, again, example code, demos for code, example assignments. That's me trying to help you out, right? So if you're emailing me and messaging me and asking how to do something on a graded assignment, that's fine, but I'm gonna kind of go and see if you've looked at this example or if you've watched this demo, because more often than not, it's going to be similar to the assignment you're needing to complete. It's not going to be identical, but it's going to be pretty similar. And if you've gone through that, the hope is that you'll be prepared enough to finish and do the graded assignment. But again, feel free to contact me whenever you get stuck on something. I'll either refer you to something, type something out, maybe even make a video for you, and I can post that same video out to the class. This being the first ever online Python, there's going to be some kinks to work out. If there's a certain assignment that I'm getting 20 emails about because it's just so difficult and we weren't really prepared for it, then I need to know about that, right? And I can send an announcement out that has a video that explains some stuff. We'll work through it. But the more we communicate, the better off we're going to be. The more that you're going somewhere else and getting help and cheating to whatever way you would do, that's not going to be helpful to yourself, and it's not helpful to the class, because if I never know about something, there's no way that I'm going to be able to fix it, right? Okay, scrolling back down here, just once again, some of the stuff's going to get said multiple times. All of the practice material are just regular links that will take you to CodeHS. When there's an assignment that's actually going to be on your grade, you're going to see a button like this on the actual Canvas assignment. That button, well, like it says there, loads you into CodeHS, but it links that assignment up into Canvas. So it's one of the biggest problems we have with using Canvas and CodeHS is that you'll go into an assignment and you'll do the assignment, you'll hit submit, you'll move on, you'll go to the next one, and you'll stay on CodeHS the entire time, and you never click on these buttons. And if you don't click on that load button and you don't use the Canvas link to go and do it, that grade may not come back into Canvas, and it's just going to be sitting there. And then when I go and look and see if you've done it, I'm probably not going to see anything on Canvas because it never got linked. So you will want to get in the habit of making sure that you access all assignments through the links on Canvas. Okay, there is what I created as overview pages in the modules tab. And there's an example of an overview page down here that I'll give you every week. It has the videos that you'll need to watch, all the practice material, and then we have the links, right? So all the links that you need to get into CodeHS, load the assignments, are going to be in a table like this that I'm calling the overview. So every week we'll have an overview. We want to make sure you use that. That's like your one-stop shop. That's the only page you really need to go and find every week, and that will give you everything that you need, and useful videos, anything else that I add in, everything will be on that page. Okay, another big thing here that we've kind of said already is to don't skip the practice material. Even if you think you know it all, you've done programming before, maybe you've had Python, you've seen Python before, you're welcome to, you'll kind of get a feel of how you want to do the class, but the practice material is there for you to go through, even if it's not graded. I know that's a struggle sometimes to be doing something that isn't going to be graded, but the graded assignment is based off of all of that material. So if you go straight to the graded assignment and it's just not working so great and you're struggling with it, it's probably not really going to save you any time by fighting with the auto grader, fighting with the assignment until you finally get it correct, and you don't really know why you got it correct, right? You don't really know how you ended up getting the right solution to it. It might not take you any less time than by just going to the practice material and actually getting concepts, right? Most of the CodeHS videos are not super long. They're between 2 and 5 minutes. And any that I personally do, they will be a little longer because most likely my videos are going to be going through an entire assignment and showing you actual code and working through some stuff. I try not to ramble too much, but sometimes it happens. But it's there to help you out, right? It's there to get you acquainted with the concept. So please don't just skip all the material and then just fight the graded assignments until you get it right. You're not really learning anything that way, right? You're going to be much better off by taking it at a steady pace, going through the practice stuff, and then going for the graded material. Another reason why you shouldn't just be skipping the practice material is that I'm going to have quizzes at the end of each week, of each overview module, that ask you about that practice material. So again, if you know this stuff already and you don't really want to sit there because you know the practice material, you're still going to need to take a quiz about it. So you're going to need to prove to me that you do know this practice material. Some of this stuff is going to be general. You might be able to get away with not going through everything and getting the right answers. Some of it's going to be specific. So again, you might need to go and do the practice material. Okay, moving on here, graded assignments. Again, if I scroll down here to the overview page, you'll get really used to how these pages work. But anything that's not an icon with a gold star, that's practice stuff. That's stuff that's just there to help you out, or documents or examples, whatever the case is. When you see the gold star, it's on your grade, it's graded. So this link here to take you to CodeHS, we'll get there in a little bit, that's a graded assignment. The syllabus quiz is a graded assignment. The next overview page has all of them. There's more icons than this, but I took them out because we're not using them right now. If you see the gold star, that's important. That's a graded assignment. And if everything's working out well, when you go and do that graded assignment and you come back on Canvas, usually your grade updates pretty quick. CodeHS will send that grade into Canvas. Sometimes some assignments do wait for me to grade them. If they're not auto-graded, then I am going to need to come and look at all of them and you know, give you the grade for them. But most of them are going to be auto-graded, and this is a good time to talk about what that actually means. The CodeHS auto-grader. There's two really big things about this class that you really just need to know. The first one is using those loading buttons and using the links on Canvas so that your grade comes back into Canvas. And the other one is not fighting the auto grader. So I have a whole spiel here about trying to explain why the auto grader is how it is. And I'm just going to kind of read this a bit. You can think of the auto grader. It's a computer grader. It's not a real person most of the time that's looking at your auto graded assignments. You can think of this auto grader as a client, and you can think of the assignments that you do as the projects or the work that your client wants from you. Sometimes your client is going to be really relaxed, and however you do the code is totally fine, and they'll, as long as the outcome is what the client or the grader wants, then you'll get probably full credit for it. Other times though, you're going to get some very picky clients, or the auto grader is going to be very picky, and you want to get in the habit of understanding what the client or the grader wants out of your project. A lot of my students stick to their roots and they like to do it a certain way, and they start fighting with the auto grader because even though they're getting the right result, it's not being done in the way that the auto grader wants you to do it. And there's a lot of different reasons why the auto grader wants to be picky. Most of the time it's because they're just trying to teach that specific concept, and if you're not using that concept, it's going to yell at you for it, because the whole idea is to learn a new way to do programming. So you want to try and not pick a fight with the auto grader and pick a fight with your client. It really does move into, if you were to do this professionally, sometimes clients can be picky. Sometimes how you program something may not match up with what the client is expecting, and you kind of have to tweak some stuff. However, if you are fighting with the auto grader, if you're trying to do what it's wanting you to do and you don't know what's going on, you don't know what the auto grader is talking about, contact me, right? I can look at it. I can go straight into the assignment that you're doing. I can see what the auto grader is telling you. Also, if you want to screenshot what you're seeing and send that to me as well, that'd be quicker, because then I don't have to go into CodeHS, log into it, find the assignment, right? You'll get a quicker response if you send me a screenshot of what you're looking at, and if that's enough information for me to respond to you, then I'll do that. It'll be nice and quick. But feel free to contact me, right? I will help you figure out either what the auto grader is wanting from you, It's rare that I will override what the autograder is doing, but it does happen. The computer isn't perfect. If I can't figure out why it's docking you for something, then I can override it. But the idea is that we want to try and figure out what the autograder is mad about and to fix that. Okay, and last thing here, just to make sure we're clear, at the end of each week, we're going to go weekly here with these different modules. They should all take you, well, I'm going to give you about a week for the majority of them. If I go pull up the grades and you're missing anything that's due that week, that means that CodeHS did not send a grade to the Canvas page, whether because you never clicked on it, you didn't get around to it, and possibly because you didn't click the right links on Canvas or the loading buttons on Canvas to get that linked back. If the grade's missing, then I'm going to put a 0 on it. That 0 isn't necessarily set. I'll let you go in and change that grade. If you do submit an assignment after I put a 0 in, again, CodeHS should update that. Most of the time it will override the 0. But if you're noticing that that grade's not changing, just let me know. Sometimes I have to do it myself manually and I have to look at your grade, and sometimes CodeHS just doesn't tell me about it, or Canvas doesn't tell me about it. So if you're sitting there looking at a grade and it's just not changing, then send me an email and let me know, hey, I redid this assignment, I'm not seeing that this grade is changing. Can you go take a look at it? And normally it's just me having to go in there and say, yep, give the student credit. Okay, I'm gonna stop the video here for a second. I'm gonna put a second one right here on our first overview page. So if you haven't gotten a chance yet, go ahead and read through this yourself. I know I just went through it all on the video. Take a break, walk around for a second, and come back when you're ready. There'll be a short video to wrap up the course and all that, and then you can get going on these couple assignments here for this week.